Guys, we went live a little early for the people who are diligently sitting at their computers. Okay, before we get rolling, important things. There are 4 Team Hoot camps. So write these down real quick. First one is June 21 to the 23rd in Georgia. Second one is June 29 to the 30th in Glendive, Montana. Hey, what's up, man? I'm just telling everyone when my camps are. The next camp is July 1st and the 2nd in Cut Bank, Montana. And the last camp is July 19th and 20th in Shelbyville, Kentucky. Hey, what's up, man? Brendan, you are killing it with the Mondo videos, man. I can't wait to see that documentary. Mary, I just talked about your camp. Boom. It's going to be a good time. I'm excited. So if you guys want more information on the camps, go to team-hoot.org/pole vault news, and we'll be rolling. Carrie's trying to be quiet, but she doesn't have to be. What's up, Rico? Shawn, grade and my PR is 10.6. Is that good? That is very good. I didn't even jump that until I was a sophomore in high school. You're rocking it out, man. Hey, Aaron08. Hey, Mr. Vesey. Hey, the soft side of the pole is kind of confusing. Like, what one is the soft side? Like, if you squeeze it, you never figure it out. But yeah, hopefully that video helped you out a little bit. Zach just got back from the state meet. How'd it go, man? I'm excited. How'd it go? Hello, everybody. My name is Ethan, and my PR is 11. Man, you guys are going quick. Is that good as a freshman? That is stellar, man. Hi, I asked you my last stream, but I was a first-year vaulter and got 6.6 with the month of training. Goals for next year? Training schedule for the summer? Just keep doing it, man. Like, really, there's a lot of ways. I mean, if you really want to get hardcore, I got a training program you can check out, and it's helped a lot of people. If you just want to keep jumping, I would find a club near you. USPVA.org has a list of clubs around you. I would do that. Or if you want to try some other sports, do that too. I'm not going to stop you from experimenting with other sports. Gunner. Finished practice. PR of 12.6 SJ. Had to put the pits away. We were bringing them back. Good. Happy to hear it, man. Shawn, I've watched Sam Kendrick's jump and he takes off. Wait, that was an interesting question. He takes off his toes, but most other people plant their whole foot. Any opinion on both methods? From a biomechanics standpoint, they say you should land flat-footed because it creates the stretch reflex in your Achilles. So this is my sandal. Here's how that kind of works. So if you land flat-footed, this muscle back here, which is your Achilles or your soleus or whatever, soleus is whatever you want to say. So then that stretches easier and then it responds quicker because muscles do not like to be overstretched, and that's why there is a stretch reflex to protect themselves from overstretching. So if you can land that way, cool. It usually helps. If you land on your toe, you have to be really strong to be able to do that. And a lot of those people might end up with Achilles issues down the road. But there's no right or wrong way to do it. Everyone's bodies are made a little differently, but that's what the science says. Hope that helped. What was your motivation for continuing to pole vault? That's a great question. My motivation for a long time was always because I knew I could jump higher. And I wanted to see what that was like. That's really the root of it. And then there was all these other things in me that like, oh, I want to. There was this competitive side of me that it's like, oh, people are training me. I want to see if I can jump as high as that person or this person or this person or that person. And then as I got older, I realized that wasn't very healthy because say you want to beat the world record holder and that's your only goal, and then you beat the world record holder, then what? You have nowhere else to go. So it's like as I grew older, my intrinsic motivation became bigger, but it started as a kid being very extrinsically motivated. And if you guys don't know what those words are, if you just type both those in, you'll get all this information, know exactly what I'm talking about. Hope that makes a little bit of sense. What else do we got here? PR freshman, 12 next year. I'm 9.6 PR as a freshman. I want 12 by next year. Any tips for getting better? Get faster. I write those plans to help support this channel, but more importantly, it's a way because it's what you do in the off season that helps who you are in the in season. I learned that the hard way. It took until college for me to realize that, oh man, I used to take the summers off, and then people would either like catch up to you or you would just take off because you were so far ahead of where everyone else was. So I really made those programs because it was like, I found what helped me the most, so I'm going to try and give it to you guys. And then, yeah, that's why those programs are there. So get fast. That's the fastest way to jump higher. Gunner block. Trying to get in a D3 college team in lacrosse. What is a good height to aim for? I made a video on this a while back. I forgot what D3 is looking for now, but the best advice I can give you is just reach out to the college. Reach out to the coaches, and they always have like a little pamphlet or something that you can fill out, and then you'll be rocking and rolling because they have all the answers. I've been so far out of college, I don't really know what heights are, and different conferences have different heights, so I can't just give you a specific height. But when I was around, it was around like 12, 13, 14 feet, somewhere in there. You could walk on easily, and if you were a decath, then it was a whole different situation. So hope that helps a little, man. If anyone has any tips that I missed there, leave them in the comments. Help them out. Any tips from going to fiberglass to a carbon fiber pole? It's usually the same. They're just faster. So just be aware that it's going to hit you a little bit faster, and you're going to have to get in positions a little sooner because they react fast. There's a pros and cons. They're lighter, so you run a little faster, but they react faster. So I just had this conversation with somebody just this week that I used to train on carbon poles because it made my plant early. Because if you had a bad plant on a carbon pole, you were screwed. This is a nightmare. And then at meets, all through my professional career, I jumped on UCS poles. So I found that my plant was always super early, and I was able to get in positions earlier. I hope that makes some sense. But yeah, the biggest trick is just knowing everything's a little faster on those carbon fiber poles. You got to do everything a little earlier. Shane, I'm trying to get on a 15-foot 170, but I can't seem to finish the vault. How do I learn how to keep pressing and not bailing? Just got to keep trying, man. Like reps. It's like, you know me and analogies, guys. If you're going to paint your wall, if you just do one swipe of paint on it.
I'm so not a raper.
Oh, Lord, my phone just went off. Ignore that. I'm not a raper. But if you use one line of paint on your wall, it's not going to be very thick, and you're going to be able to see what was before it. So you have to keep painting on the walls, and those paint strokes are like practice reps. So you just got to keep doing practice reps until you don't even see your old habits anymore, and you create these new habits in the form of a beautiful new wall. Does that make sense? Oh man, that was a bad analogy. All right, what do we got here? Hey Shawn, what kind of tips do you have for people that have injured themselves vaulting? I personally have problems with my back this year. What's the best course of action? So lower back pain, from my experience, is okay. There's this thing called the upper and lower cross syndrome. If you guys look that up on Google, you'll find all these sorts of things. But what you want with the lower back? Ooh, I almost killed my computer. You want your core to be tight. You want your thoracic spine to be mobile. And usually it's the other way around. From sitting a lot or editing or writing on computers or playing video games or whatever else, the opposite happens. Your lower back becomes loose and the thoracic spine gets tight because you're constantly sitting hunched over like this all the time. So the best thing you can do is work on your core strength to make your lower body tight, like your core tight, and then do some thoracic mobility exercises, and then that should help out a whole bunch. But you gotta help getting that core tight, so when you plant, if you have any of this going on at all and it's really low, you want to squeeze the core and make that little bit of bend come up and higher up on your spine. That's called your thoracic spine. Hope that helps, man. If you have any other questions, just let me know and I can point you in the right directions. Hey Shawn, thanks for doing these. They help a lot. Do you have any tips for inverting on bigger poles? I'm able to invert on smaller poles, but I can't get my hips up on bigger poles. I think you'll be able to do it. I mean, if you can already do it on smaller poles, it just sounds like you're progressing too fast. Is there like a half a pole? Or are you jumping like 15 pounds or 10 pounds or something like that? Smaller progressions are the best progressions. So anyone who tries to progress too fast, that's usually where the problems start coming in, if you could already do the motion or the movement. So yeah, that's the best advice I have for that. Just try and find a one-step lower progression. I'm moving to Florida for the summer. Do you know of any clubs or camps to do? If you can hit Daniel Ryland's camp up, that would be the best thing you could ever do. I love that place, and I love Daniel, and you get to... Trust me, Daniel Ryland's camp if you're down in Florida. If you need some help finding clubs again, uspva.org has a list of clubs that we created where you can find all of the clubs in the entire United States. It's the best resource I found out there. I used to try and make it on my site, but they just nailed it. They did it way better. Isaiah, I don't have a coach, but I watch all your videos, and I cleared 12.6 with a 12.1 grip. I got a chance to jump on bigger poles at the end of the season, and I went super high, but with a bungee. That's all right, man. Bungees are like a good way to start, you know? And then next, if you're getting close up on those bungees, then the next height are bars, man. That's the next progression. I think you're on it, man. Just keep doing what you're doing. And without a coach, that's super impressive. Oh, man. I tried to vault without a coach for a while. It didn't go very well. That's super helpful. I plant my foot in pole vault, but I know I also do. Yep. Flat forces, Marshall. That's the trick, man. Yep. That's why the penult step's like that too. It's like toe and then, yeah. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying, man. Hey, Shawn, I won't be able to pole vault for a couple months. What types of workouts can I do to make myself better in the meantime? I'm going to be a junior next year with a PR of 12.6. Yeah, back to those training programs. That's why I wrote them. I think I have them written in there where you only need to do one pole vault day a week, and if you can't, that's no big deal. I have other stuff in there that you can do, gymnastic stuff, and all you need is a park. Hair on my hat. That'd be the best thing you can do, man, is just get faster. Speed. What kind of stuff can you do to get faster? Brian, hey everybody, do your best to support Shawn. Brian, you're the best, man. Like, yeah, I didn't even talk about Patreon, but yeah, that's going to be going on for a couple more months to see what we can do and see if we can keep this thing going. So tell your friends. Patreon. Patreon's where it's at. Addie, I got 12 feet as a sophomore last year. I got 9 feet and was able to make a 3-foot improvement. Oh, man, I just showed you where the doors were. You had to do the work and walk through them. Like, don't give me any credit. You did all the work. I just helped show where some doors were. Any early predictions of the World Championships for the men's pole vault? I don't know. Everyone's jumping really well. Sam doesn't seem to be like as consistent as he was last year, but he seems to make the bars when they matter. Like Prefontaine was pretty fun to watch. I don't know. I'd love to see Mondo do something absolutely insane, just because it's Mondo and he's just fun to watch. Like, he's great for our sport. Let's just put it that way. I don't know. I'm not good at predictions. I like watching. I don't like predicting things. I'm kind of in a phase of my life for the last bunch of years that I don't like being able to predict things. I like the spontaneity and the mystery and the excitement of things kind of coming to me. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen with that. That's what's so fun about this event. You just never know. Carbon fiber tends to be more stiff. Yes, it does. You have to be more aggressive. Shawn, if I send you a video on Instagram, would you review it? No. You need to send all videos through team-hoot.com/gear. I just get too many on Instagram, and I feel bad if I ignore them, but I'm kind of getting to that point where I almost have to. It's just too many, guys. Do you have any advice for fixing the helicopter at takeoff? I have a funny feeling that you're talking about when you hit it, and then you swing through, you start helicoptering, and that usually comes with just keeping too much pressure on the bottom arm too long, and that starts the helicopter. So if you can get that pole coming in and then pulling this left arm in up to your chest while that right arm's the engine, helicopter's done. You guys will be rocking and rolling again. Your videos are great, and they made me as a freshman go from being stuck at 9 foot to easily jump. Like I said, man, it was just a door, Stefan. You did the work, man. I'm in 8th grade and I vaulted 9 feet 3 inches with 10-foot grab. Wait, what do I do? Wait, what? Hold on. The typical YouTuber. I'm in 8th grade and I vaulted 9 feet 3 inches with a 10-foot grip. I weigh 100 pounds and I'm using a 130 pole. What do I do? Keep jumping, man. Sounds like it's working. I have a video on called Pole Vault Adjustments, and it shows, like, based on where you're landing and what the pole's doing, what your next move would be. That might be a good step for you. Because maybe you're on that 130 pole and you're landing in the back of the pit. Then we definitely need to make some adjustments, and you should check that video out. Good things will happen. I'm snapping my fingers a lot. Okay, what do we got next? Hey, I'm at a state game in Maryland. Thank you for your videos, man. You've helped a lot. Oh, you're very welcome. Okay, let's get to some questions. Okay, questions. Games. I can't seem to stop flagging off at the top and don't really know how to fix it. Any tips that aren't in the videos? With a new coach for off season who likes the standards at 30, it's too far. No way, man. I always keep the standards as deep as they can go. Like, I bury them, because if you can learn to move energy which is essentially what you're doing. You're creating energy on the runway, you're transferring it into a pole, and then you get upside down, so then when the energy's like, when the pole's like, I don't want this energy anymore, and it flings you back into your body and you fly over a bar, that's what makes you jump higher. So if you get used to having the standard super close and you don't learn how to put more energy into the pole, you're never going to jump higher. So you're going to hate me, Jacob, but your new coach, he knows what's going on. Keep the standards deep. And as for flagging, sounds like your coach knows what he's talking about, so I'd listen to him. Hey Shawn, I'm a sophomore. My PR is 13. Lately I've been going left in my jump. Any tips to stay down the middle? Yeah, so a lot of coaches stand on the side, right? So like, if this is a pole vault runway and people are running this way, coaches are either standing here. I like to sometimes get behind the pit and video from back there so I can see like what's happening. That could help you out a lot. I know like when I used to go left, I used to have my arm off my ear a little bit and it would come like this and it would shoot me that way. That would be the left. Yeah, so that could actually be happening to you too. So just make sure that arm's up and you're throwing it right down the middle. Or if you're twisting your shoulders, that could be a whole nother problem. Or if you're driving your knee, all this stuff, you'll get more information if you go from the back side of the pit. So like if you're vaulting here, the bar's up here, stand here and film back where you're going. That should help. I hope it helps. All right. Oh man, we only have 4 minutes left. Shawn, I'm wondering if you could give me a tip on how to stay tight once you get inverted. I got sections tomorrow in honor, and that is one of my problems. Yeah, so a lot of the videos I talk about, the invert is staying tight. There's two things, two big problems that happen all the time. Right hand, right quad, and this arm's usually too far away. So don't push off your body into the pole. Keep this tight and keep it coming through your chin up through the top, and good things will happen. And then number two, that finger doesn't move, is when a lot of people invert. If you're a gymnast, this makes sense. You want to stay hollow through the invert. Okay? Most people hyperextend like they feel like they're inverting more, but as what happens, then you're off of this, where's my camera? You're off of this line, so then your feet start flagging off. So if you stay hollow, you'll go straight up instead of out to the right. So that's an old gymnastics trick, but it's worked wonders for me and my athletes. Hope that helps a little bit. Hey, I'm a decathlete and I really want to improve my vault and I'm clearing 11 on a 13-foot grip. Are there any drills, workouts I can do to better my invert? I have 3 videos on those. If you haven't seen them, I would check them out. I would start there because I feel like I'll just repeat myself over and over again. So just type Team Hoot pole vault invert. Boom. You'll find all sorts of stuff. I'm a freshman jumping 13.6. My problem is my trail leg bending and a bad bottom arm. What do I do? The trail leg situation's tricky. So sometimes a couple things can help this. If you think about jumping off the ground, that automatically seems to keep it straight. Or another good cue that I like to use a whole bunch is trying to kick the box and then kicking the slope of the pit and then just staying as long as you can. That's really it. So if you're a target person, think about kicking the box. Or if you're like a body awareness person, see how far you can keep your foot from your top hand as long as you can. And that sometimes helps with the swing too. There's a lot of ways to do this event, guys. I'm just trying to help. What else we got? Okay, I want to answer all these questions, but there's so many. Okay. One other question I have is, are there any specific drills to practice for keeping my hips back and not sinking with them on the plant? Yeah. Sorry, dogs are barking. We're just going to have to deal with it. The biggest one I have for that is just wall plants. If you can get used to sticking your chest through the pole, those dogs are going nuts. If you can get used to sticking your chest through the pole, that's where all the good stuff's going to start happening. And that comes with some of that core stuff we were working on earlier. If you're really loose with that lower back, your hips are going to get sucked through and your shoulders are going to go back. So squeeze your core, feel all the stretch in your thoracic spine. Okay, let's do the speed round. I'll see if I can answer these in one sentence. Let go of a bent pole today. A bent pole today? I think she meant bent. Don't let go of bent poles. Don't ever let go of the pole. That's rule number 1. Do you have any advice on jumping in a headwind? Yes. Practice jumping in a headwind. That's it. So, I know this is longer than a sentence, but a couple of my friends, and I talked to Bubba Sparks about this a lot too, is if there's crappy weather outside, most people are like, oh man, I can't jump today, the weather's too crappy. But if it's a headwind, instead of flipping the pits around, we would just jump in it because we're like, well, we'll learn how to jump in crappy weather then. So then all of a sudden when we'd have some crappy weather, we already knew how to jump in it and where our settings and standards would be, and we are mentally prepared to handle that. So that's the best advice I have for jumping in headwind is just practice jumping in headwind. I got a thick bruise on my forearm 2 days before states. I have a bruise forever right here. This lump right there, that's from pole vaulting. That's never going away. That's like a pole vault tattoo. It's pretty awesome. My steps and run are inconsistent. Is that normal? It can be if you're just learning a new run or something like that. The best way to do that is just to do it over and over and over again. Like, this is a science thing, but say you're throwing darts at a dartboard, right? All of a sudden one's over here, one's over here, and then one's over here, and one's over here, and one's over here. But the more you throw the dart at the dartboard, you start to get a pattern of where the majority of your darts are being thrown, which is probably right in the middle someplace. But early on, they're probably flying all over the place. So that's kind of how practice works again. So the more reps you do of your run, whatever it may be, the more consistent it's going to be, and then it's going to be money. Hope that helps, dude. I'm a freshman first year, and I love pole vaulting ever since I cleared 6 feet. Now I'm PRing at 8.6. Awesome. 136 pounds and I'm 50 pull, and you have tips to go higher. Keep jumping. Sounds like you're already jumping really high. Just keep doing it, man. You're rocking and rolling. I was wondering how to fix being in the V position. Yeah, I call that a swunch. I have a video on it. If you type Team Hoot swunch, it'll show up. But everyone seems to do this like swing and then a punch. And I say skip it and just do a swunch. It should be, try and turn it into one motion, and that should help out the most. Just get out of it. And then second part of that is if your hips are low, you're screwed. So don't care. I never care where anyone's feet are going. I always want to know where their hips are going. So work on getting those hips up and not necessarily your feet. Just talked about an inconsistent run. Yeah, dude, Gunner, go email that lacrosse coach. Guys, I'm going over here. Okay, I'll do these fast. Another problem I have is with finding time to bring in my elbow. It's killing my inversion. Any tips on this? That's more of a timing thing, so you're just going to have to work on that. The best thing I've ever found with that, Jacob, is getting into a pool. If you can do some underwater pole vaulting, because then you can slow it down and find where that timing is, and then speed it up on the track. The hardest part about pole vault is it's so fast. And you go up poles and it makes it faster, and you go back runs and it makes it faster, and speed is the enemy of technique. So as soon as we have all this speed, then like, how do you practice technique, you know? Does that make any sense? But you'll figure it out, man. Is normal lifting okay for the off season? Yeah, it's better than doing nothing. Now I'm turning yellow every time I reach my hand here. I have a great plan, but I can't seem to bring my elbow in and invert. Any tips? Yeah. Keep trying it, man. Brian, you're the man. I just got to that. Hey, Shawn, Yankees or Twins? I gotta go with the Yanks. I got to. My old man was drafted to the Yankees, so we grew up like wearing Yankee stuff ever since we were kids. So that's why we're all Yankees fans. And then, yeah, the Twins have just broken my heart too many times. All right, Brian, you're the man. So happy our paths cross. All right, guys, we'll do 4 more. I was only gonna do 15 minutes today because Carrie and I are going on a waterfall tour tomorrow. We're gonna do all 10 waterfalls all across Minnesota in 4 days. It's gonna be epic. Okay, 4 more questions. Hey, Shawn, do you have any advice for getting into the pole vault again? I took 3-week break between outdoor and indoor season. I start in a week again and have been running and going to the gym. That sounds good, Emma. That's a tough one. I used to take like 6 weeks off or something like in between seasons, and it never felt normal coming back. But I always trained really hard, so it always felt like my legs just weren't my legs because I was like squatting heavy and lifting heavy and running hard and doing all these circuits and just tired all the time. So, I mean, the best advice I can have is just go in ready to learn and know that it should feel a little different because you're better than you were 3 weeks ago. You know, like, stuff changes. So just go in there excited to like learn and keep trying to figure out this puzzle that'll never be solved. That's what the sport's all about. Thanks, Shawn. You're the best. Nope, you are the best, good sir. Also, if my pole is 30 pounds above my weight, is that okay, or should I practice with a softer pole? If you're getting into the pit on on 30 pounds over your weight, awesome. Don't get on a softer pole if it's working. Okay, 2 more. How to deal with lower back injury. I talked about that a little bit. I skipped your question. Pun. What was your question? I don't remember. I'm sorry. I'm going too fast. I was doing a handstand drill over a 2-foot bar, and then I turned. My shoulder made a bad popping sound, and now it hurts to vault. Any suggestions? No, you've had shoulder problems before. I would go see a doctor on that one. I can't give you medical advice if something popped. That just sounds like danger. You go get that looked out. I hope you're okay. Hey, Georgia Vault Club. You guys are awesome. Okay, last question. Pun. I'm not as experienced as 5 to 10 pound pull upgrade would help. Okay. Last question here, guys. How do you get in the bend of the pole to get inverted? Because when I vault, I always come out early and I hate it. It's a good question. I really like that hula hoop drill I've shown, where you put a hula hoop on the end of a pole. Pat Lasari has it, and you invert, and then you shoot through the top of the pole. That helps you kind of see this little circle on the top of your pole and gives you something to shoot through. And like everybody, you can kind of visualize what it's supposed to look like. And when you can do that, it helps you stay in line with the pole the way you want to, so you can get exactly what you're looking for. I hope that makes sense. You guys are all awesome. Yes, as far as I'm aware, all of the camps are still open. So you guys go check out the camps. I'll say it one more time. It's at team-hoot.org /pole vault news. And there's a list of all the camps and how to contact everybody on there. Go check it out. I'm really excited. We just added 2 more. One in Georgia. That's the newest one coming up. And then there's the one in Glendive, Montana on June 29th and 30th. And July 1st to the 2nd, Cut Bank, Montana. And then in July 19th to the 20th, we're at Kentucky Elite Athletics in Shelbyville, Kentucky. You guys are awesome. I hope this helped. If you guys still like these live streams, let me know in the comments below. So, because I just never know if you guys enjoy these or if they're helpful or not. And they're for you. So just let me know. I'll see you guys next week. Boom! If I know where the button is.